Welcome to The Best Seat. My name is Ryan.
My name is Michael.
My name is James.
And this week we watched Iron Man 2, the movie that Michael apparently hates.
No, I don't hate it.
Do you hate the movie, Michael?
Why do you hate Iron Man 2 so much?
I don't like I don't like this. Okay. All right. So, God damn it. Okay. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. Hold the fuck up. I don't hate this movie.
You actually hate it.
Shut up!
The worst movie of all time.
My cat is sitting on my lap and she's going to be scared if I'm screaming. She left. Are you fucking happy? Are you fucking happy?
I'm very happy. Why do you hate Iron Man 2?
Okay. I do not hate Iron Man 2. However, I still stand my ground that it's a forgettable movie. And here's and I've thought about it a lot. Especially when after the movie, I went and took a mini shit. I thought about it.
You took a ponderful shit.
Yeah, I took a
marvelous shit.
I was pondering while I took my shit.
You know that like the
I was in the
thinker.
I was in the thinker. I was in the thinker. Squatting and okay.
Awesome.
I was thinking about it. And so here's my synopsis. I think that this movie has a lot of rememberable scenes, or memorable, I guess, not rememberable. That sounds stupid.
Yeah,
memorable.
that's some shit Poke would say.
Yeah, remember this is a lot of memorable scenes, but. I remember the scenes and not them in the movie. I know that sounds really fucking weird. I remember like the robot rock scene. I remember the first Whiplash scene. I remember the first like real like suitcase Iron Man suit up scene. I remember the fucking like the Iron Man shoot the thrill. Like I remember all of that. I don't remember this movie one scene after another. And like I think I remember most Marvel movies one scene after another. I feel like if you ask me about a Marvel movie, I could say, okay, Act 1 was this, Act 2 was this, Act 3 was this. This movie, my fucking God, this is just me. It's not everybody else, but this movie, I'm having it up on the second screen and I'm still like, okay, I need a guide. I need a guide right now.
Iron Man 2 is a movie I have watched, I think probably more than any other in the MCU, which is like surprising. Like,
really?
I've watched this movie 3 times this year. I watched it once on my own, once with a friend, and now again with you guys.
I've watched it 3 times this year as well.
And I've watched it several times before that as well. I think this might actually be my most rewatched movie in the whole MCU, and I still don't know what the fuck it's about when I watch it. Like,
okay, so thank fuck. Okay, so I'm not. Okay, so I'm not.
You're not alone.
Tony Stark is dying in this movie.
It is. Tony Stark is dying the movie.
I seriously think like, and here's the thing. At the end of the day, I like the movie, but I have a lot of fucking issues with it.
Same.
And I think a lot of it stems from the fact that when I watch Iron Man 2, I seriously like the scenes are memorable. I love all the scenes. I love all the actors.
Yep.
But it's more like a collection of random fucking scenes. Like I feel like they don't connect with each other. Like,
here's what happens in Iron Man 2, okay? He's cocky at the beginning of the film, and then he gets vibe checked. He literally gets knocked down like 50 pegs.
After meeting Elon Musk, he gets vibe
Yes,
checked.
he immediately gets like he learns to humble himself just a tiny bit. And then he's less of an asshole at the end of the movie. He apologizes, he goes to Arches with Pepper, his friend Rhodey, with even like Nick Fury and Natasha.
I do want to say though, before you mentioned something already that I want to say. Terrence Howard looks crazy different in this
Shut
movie.
the fuck up, my God. Let's mention that first. That should be our first topic. Is about Terrence Howard being recasted by Don Cheadle as Rhodey in the movie.
That was just CGI.
That was not CGI. No. They recast Terrence
He had a
Howard.
little bit of floating head syndrome. I don't know if you saw it at all.
So
they did some CGI de-aging shit, bro.
So Terrence Howard plays Rhodey in the first movie, and then the next one is just a completely different actor. And I believe the first scene he's in, this first line is like, "You know what? I'm here. Get over it. Get over it. Let's keep going." Yeah. I think that's great.
You guys want to know a fun fact?
Yeah, tell us.
Terrence Howard was paid more than Robert Downey Jr. in the first Iron Man movie.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I knew it was paid.
I believe that. I believe that.
I knew
Terrence
Robert
Howard
Downey Jr. was paid
riding off
less
of a few,
than usual.
He was riding off a few like movies at that point. People like Terrence Howard. People know Terrence Howard. He like had high billing in other movies, so like I get that.
Yeah.
I 100% I get that.
And RDJ wasn't really like the big fucking name he is.
No,
like, now, you know,
God.
like
Well, he was fucking. The first movie he was riding high off of his like drug addiction and shit like that, and nobody wanted to risk working with him. So like
exactly, yeah. Iron Man is basically what brought him back. You know, like
he credits Elton John with the
Burger King
the music video. And then that he said that music video that he was in with Elton John got him Iron Man, I guess. I don't know. It was weird.
So, do you guys know? I'm asking generally. Do you guys know why like he was recast?
It was, he wanted more money and shit.
He wanted more money, yeah. So what happened was, you know, like, I did a little bit of fucking. I've said this to both of you. I did a little bit of research in this movie before we came into it.
Mm-hmm.
From what I can gather.
Thank God somebody should know what they're talking about. Somebody.
It seems like Terrence
Howard. White guys just saying dumb shit.
And it ties into the first movie as well, like what I said before with Terrence Howard being paid more in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With Iron Man 2, because Iron Man 1 was such a critical fucking success, Iron Man 2 was announced 3 days after Iron Man 1 came out.
Yes.
That's how successful
really?
the first movie
I didn't know
was.
that.
It was like less than a week after the first movie.
It was I remember, weirdly enough, I remember that. I remember that being like, oh, that's a good
Wait, will there be a third one?
Not the third one, but the second one.
I'm asking, will there be a third movie? I'm curious.
No, I remember that being announced so fast because I remember people were like, oh yeah, that was a good like standalone movie, even though the end credits, because I don't think anybody stayed around for the end credits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember
people who did got a nice fucking surprise.
Yeah, but I remember them immediately like, I was like, oh, okay, I thought that was just a good movie. Like,
but anyway, basically, Terrence Howard, like I said before, was paid the most out of any actor in the first movie. So when Iron Man 2 came around and, you know, Robert Downey Jr. was now the star of the show, which means he was getting paid a lot fucking more than he was for the first movie. And as a result of that, it seems like Terrence's paycheck may have been lowered. Like,
ooh, to compensate for his... Like to compensate for
I wonder if like his was just. I wonder if his wasn't raised like as much, or even if all, than RDJ's.
I don't want to sit here and say with absolute certainty that's what happened, but that seems to be a very common thing floating around.
Disney did pay $4 billion for it, like right after.
Okay, yeah, this is the first like Disney Marvel film, right? Like under Disney.
This is the first Disney Marvel movie, yeah.
And their first change was remove Terrence Howard from the picture. Their first gripe was remove Terrence Howard, get me Don Cheadle.
Apparently Jon Favreau actually didn't like working with Terrence Howard on Iron Man 1.
Ooh. Drama.
Yeah, apparently there was some bad blood there, man. Like
bad toxic 19% blood.
It's funny because like
nice reference.
There's literally like interviews with fucking Jon Favreau where fucking Favreau's literally saying like, yeah, they were sitting in the editing room trying to find usable takes from Terrence Howard.
Holy shit!
It's like fucking hell, man.
Fuck.
Terrence Howard was on set just like, yeah, man, 1 × 1 = 2. Or whatever that shit is.
What?
Yeah, he does say that. I forgot about that.
Fucking Terryology or whatever that shit is.
I have no idea what this is.
He tried to tell people like 2 × 2 was 5 or some shit, and everybody was like,
no, he's right.
Fuck are you on about?
No, he's
like,
right. He's right. I believe him.
Yeah, he's right, man. He's right. Honestly,
I stand with Terrence Howard. I want him back in the MCU. Give him a shot, man.
I think... Yeah, I don't know. Watching this movie, I definitely think Don Cheadle was like the better choice.
They seem like better friends in this one than the first one.
They do, and I cannot imagine like I don't know why, but I just cannot imagine Robert Downey Jr. like trying to kick Terrence Howard's ass. Like, I don't know why. I just can't picture that. Like, something about Don Cheadle. I think Don Cheadle just carries that character.
He's also like way funnier.
He is. He's all, yeah. Don Cheadle is fucking hysterical.
Yeah. Agreed entirely.
Although he does look like a museum security guard in that one scene before he puts on the suit.
Yeah, we were talking like he looks like a
mall cop or like
uniform.
museum like night security guard. Like he just looks he's so small.
I don't know. It's weird. The scene where he does come in though, and he's like, you know, I'm here. Let's get over it. I think that is just like, okay, I'm here, whatever, let's go, move on. And from that moment, you're like, okay, I guess that's Rhodey, and he plays it well. He plays it well. You can forget that because it's weird. I as a kid, maybe I didn't recognize.
Yeah, I have a feeling most people in the theater did not realize that it was a new actor.
Yeah, when I was younger, I definitely didn't. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, now that I'm older, I would hope I would have recognized it. I assume I would have, obviously. I don't know. It's a solid recast. There's not much else I can say past the fact that it's a solid recast.
I think they have better chemistry. I think that he works better in the MCU than Terrence Howard. I guess I'm glad it happened, even though it doesn't make much sense in like canon, but like I think it's great. I think it's a good recast.
It is kind of hard to imagine Terrence Howard, like, you know, in Civil War getting like, you know, when he gets paralyzed and shit, like, you know that scene, right? When Vision fucking shoots his mind beam at him, like,
it's mind beam.
It's hard to imagine Terrence Howard there instead of Don Cheadle. It's like, it's just weird to picture that.
Well, I mean, you know, the sacred timeline and shit, you know.
He's probably a
he's a variant.
There's a variant of Rhodey where he believes that 1 × 1 = 2.
I definitely think it's a I think that it's a good recast. I think it's a solid recast. In the first episode of The Best Seat, we talked about Obadiah Stane, and we, by the way, also to the people, hey, we have a highlights channel where if you want to just hear that segment is up on the Best Seat highlights. You can find that on the channel in the featured section. But anyway, you know, we talked about Obadiah Stane, and then in that we mentioned Justin Hammer, and we said I can't remember it, but we were all wrong. We were all wrong. We said, hey, what did Hammer do? And then it was, I think I know I didn't know. I think James and Ryan, I think you guys said something like, oh, I think he wronged him. And Tony didn't wrong Stane, or not Stane. Tony didn't wrong Hammer at all.
Hammer just like a competitor. It's just to start the industry.
It's just that he's being petty as fuck, and he just wants to be as big a, I guess, a weapons.
I don't know if we said he wronged him. I know the villain in Iron Man 3, Tony wronged him in some way.
I think we might have been talking about Whiplash, man.
Whiplash
is the one that was wronged.
Okay. Regardless, fucking this movie is just so weird.
I feel like it's a bit all over the place.
It is. Like it really is, because the one thing that like, now that I'm thinking so like far ahead into the MCU while we talk about this shit, if they wanted to mention Anton Vanko, then they should have had a scene of Howard and him developing the arc reactor.
I agree with that, yeah.
I think with this movie, and this probably might be odd, like, I think the movie was not meant to be like a condensed story like Iron Man 1 was. I think even by this point, the third movie into the MCU, they're already trying to make it connect to everything else. Because they brought in Black Widow. They alluded to Thor. They alluded to S.H.I.E.L.D., to the Avengers. Immediately in the third
Thor,
movie,
though, at the very end of the.
Well, they mentioned New Mexico, but like that is linked to it. You don't really know about it back then, but they're already trying to connect it to other stuff, even in the third movie in the MCU. It feels like there wasn't much to like. I think their goal was not to make Tony Stark go through like this giant revelation. It was meant to like show more of, and more so other like it was meant to introduce other characters more, like Rhodey, Pepper, Black Widow. Even Howard Stark, his father, more than he was mentioned previously.
But I'd say counterpoint to that, though, if they want you to give a shit about the villain, they should have to like build up that story, not just show newspaper clippings that go by in a single.
They
second.
should have shown Howard Stark and whoever the guy got. We only saw him in one.
Vanko.
We saw him in one scene and he died. The guy who supposedly knew Howard Stark.
Yeah.
So like. Yeah. I agree that like Whiplash's like beginnings was kind of wasted.
We saw newspaper clippings and that was it.
Yeah, but I believe they're trying to show Howard Stark more because they knew in Captain America he would be shown more Howard Stark. So like I think they were trying to introduce more characters in one movie. It just felt like it felt like a bridge to other movies to me.
I agree, but like. I don't think Anton is in Captain America. Not that it would even matter.
No, they don't mention. I mean Howard Stark more than Anton.
No, I know, but I'm trying to like give them credit. Like I'm trying to like, okay, if they were to do that, then like maybe just fucking maybe throw this thing in here. Like you know what I mean? I'm trying to like, okay, from this perspective.
Also, I don't understand. So with Whiplash, I believe the story is like. So I guess his father ordered Howard Stark to make the arc reactor, and then Howard just fired him randomly, and then they were like they had no credit with making the arc reactor, and like he was gone and forgotten, and now he wants revenge towards his son.
So okay, the way it was explained in the movie was in the scene with Nick Fury, the one that was really poorly chroma keyed.
Yes.
Fury explains that. Like, it's quite literally a scene that exists just to give exposition. Fury explains that Anton Vanko and Howard Stark worked together at some point in the past, and they worked on the arc reactor. Like, they worked on this new element shit, you know? Like, that's what they were working on. And Vanko wanted to use it for weapons. Howard wanted to use it for something else, like something more, you know, like something more like liberal.
World peace, something like that.
Some world peace. I'm joking. Fucking.
We're bring politics into our podcast, James.
Hey, the movie did it, not me.
No, yeah, fucking Tony halfway through the movie. I'm done with the liberal agenda.
Yeah, literally.
He did not say that.
He did.
He
did
say liberal. I heard liberal, but not agenda, like the liberal agenda.
It was the liberal.
He literally says, and I quote, "I'm done with the liberal agenda."
It's like the first 15 minutes. Like
yes. He's talking to Pepper. He says, "I'm done with the liberal agenda." He's
taken down a painting. He's replacing it with his own, and he's like, "I'm done with the liberal agenda."
I'm Googling this. Continue.
Vanko and Howard worked together. Vanko wanted to use it for weapons, and that's why he got fired and then deported.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way it went. But the thing is like
I literally just got to the scene where
he just says, "I don't care about the liberal agenda anymore." Holy shit, he does say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I take that back. All right, okay. Yep, he does say that.
He's a full-on.
Episode one of our podcast, we admit that Iron Man is misogynistic, and then
I'm
Iron Man 2. He says he's over the liberal agenda. Okay,
but hold on. But we're making it a bigger deal than it is.
We're joking.
It's a one note line.
Nah, bro, listen. Yeah. Tony Stark is like, he's capitalism at its incarnate. You know? Yes. Like, he's a total Republican.
He's so cocky at the beginning of the movie. He's very cocky in the beginning of the movie. You can tell from like the entrance to Stark Expo, that crazy fucking scene where he jumps out of an airplane. Yeah, exactly. That's a kick-ass scene, but he's so cocky during it. Him in that scene in the Senate, like he is such a much more cocky asshole than the first movie. It's so obvious, like how he stepped it up a notch. Because he was like he says, "I have privatized world peace." He is like saying like, "I am God." It's just what it feels like to me.
But pretty much like, yeah, what you were saying, James, about the arc reactor and shit. All it would have taken, I think, is one extra moment to just like, I don't know, make they have a problem with villains in these movies. And it's something I think we're going to notice more and more and more and more and more. And they do not give you a reason to give a shit at all.
Yeah.
And when you watch this movie, it's very fucking clear who the villain is in this movie. The first fucking scene is not of Tony Stark. It's a different guy.
The very first scene is literally a dark mirror version of the fucking cave scene from Iron Man 1.
Yes.
Where Vanko is fucking forging his own. Yeah, he makes literally his own arc reactor to power his fucking crazy whips, bro. Like,
and like you know who the fuck the villain is immediately, and they already do time jumps in this movie. They already do one. So like after that first scene rolls out, it goes 6 months later, and then immediately after that, it goes like right to the next scene. All they would have had to do is make it go not 6 months later, have it go 40 years earlier, you know, or like just show a scene of them, like, or even like the dude like laying there, like, because what he says is like, isn't it just something straight up like, oh yeah, you know, they'll pay for this or whatever. Like he's like talking to. All they would have had to do is just have the dad who's dying tell his story to his son as exposition, which obviously his son already knows. But like, I don't know, man, just fucking show us. Like, I hate to use it because I'm a much bigger fan of show don't tell. But like, the problem with it is they didn't show and they didn't tell.
Who plays Howard Stark in this?
Oh, dude, Howard Stark is a different actor in every fucking movie.
No, well, isn't it the same from this one and then the later movies? I think the only one who is different is an Agent Carter in Captain America: The First Avenger, because that's a younger version of Stark. But I think who plays him in this one? Can you look it up? Who?
Same guy.
That guy. He only did one scene in the entire movie. It's just him in front of the diorama of Stark Expo. They could have had a scene with him and the other older guy.
Yeah, all it would have had. It would have been easy. Literally. All it literally would have. I feel
like there's probably a deleted scene somewhere. I guarantee it.
Well, actually, yes. So there is a lot of deleted scenes of like Whiplash. Like I'm talking like a fucking lot. Like a lot of that character was left on the cutting room floor.
Was it his improv?
No, actually, about the improv. The improv doesn't exist. What ended up like, so okay, I've read like interviews and shit. I've looked into the whole thing. What it was the actor who plays Whiplash, Mickey Rourke, was really upset because he put a lot of effort into like he basically method acted. He like what he did, he literally went to Russia. He studied the accent. He tried to fucking like he tried to make this character the best that he possibly fucking could, you know? And like it like sorry, I have it a moment. My eyes. Yeah, sorry. Basically, he went to Russia, he did all the shit, he tried to make this character like the best he fucking could. And Favreau was fine with it. The writer, Justin Theroux, was fine with it. But what happened was one day Marvel suddenly came in and was like, hey, fuck this, we're not letting you do it anymore. And Mickey Rourke ended up criticizing Jon Favreau for supposedly not having any balls to stand up to Marvel and, you know, the suits and like and all the higher ups and shit. And that's what the interview was about. Like Mickey Rourke literally just one day was like, hey, fucking Marvel are a bunch of assholes and they hate complex characters, which I mean, he kind of worded it like a dick, but like at the same time, like
he was like, man, villains are boring in the MCU.
Was this like was this pre-shooting or post-shooting? Or rather like his like did they when they told him, hey, just stick to the fucking thing that we've laid out, was that pre or post-shooting? Or do we know? It doesn't matter.
Iron Man 2 didn't have like a thing laid out. The movie was done scriptless.
What?
Got it.
Iron Man 1 was done scriptless as well.
Got it. No. Because remember?
We had a screenplay, didn't we?
Wasn't at the end of the screen. Yeah. The scene at the end.
No, but they didn't have a direct script with lines on it. Like it was.
No, yeah, okay. They had moments. Yeah. Okay, so
they had story beats.
No, they didn't just put all the actors on a screen and were like, okay, do whatever. Like,
go and media on.
Okay, be Iron Man. Okay, just be Tony Stark Iron Man.
Yeah. Okay.
But nah, like fucking.
That's what happened.
Mickey Rourke wants to do a lot with that character. Jon Favreau was fine with it. The writers were fine with it, and they all wanted him to do it as well, but Marvel wasn't fine with it.
Yeah.
Marvel were the ones who were like, yeah, cut all of his scenes, make more room for fucking, like, Nick Fury and, like, Black Widow and shit.
So okay, so a little bit of it was, it's a lot. He wanted the method act, he wanted to do a little bit more, I guess, with the character, improv-wise, to shit like that, and then it was.
Well,
it sounds like Marvel, even then, was like, we got Avengers down the line. This guy doesn't fucking matter. Just get him out of the way.
It wasn't even like an improv thing. It was purely like he just wanted the villain to be more than just a generic Russian bad guy.
Yeah.
Like that's why he went to fucking Russia and studied and tried to perfect his accents and shit.
The way it was
there is a lot of scenes humanizing the character, and drawing a lot of parallels to Tony and shit.
Yeah.
But it ended up on the cutting room floor.
It's weird because you sit there and you watch this movie and you really want to not it's hard because you want to empathize with 98% of the characters in this movie. You empathize with Pepper because she's so clearly sick and tired of the shit that's going on. You empathize with Tony because he did just fucking do all this great shit. He's created this tech, but also he's an arrogant asshole. He still is an arrogant asshole. He goes in and he does this shit. The villain in this movie, I'm not gonna call Whiplash a villain. Weirdly, I know he is, but Whiplash just wants his credit. He said in the movie, "I'm going to do what your family did to mine 40 years ago in 40 minutes." You know what I mean? So he which was literally, you took everything from me, I'm going to take everything from you. He just literally wants an equal footing with this guy who's
he's having a tantrum.
Yeah, well, Tony fucking does every movie.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? If yeah, I think that you want to empathize with all these people, but the one person you can't is Hammer. And at the end of the movie, he delivers a literal empty threat and has not been in the MCU since. He looks right at Pepper.
Yes.
He's like, this isn't the last you've seen of me, like some fucking Scooby-Doo villain being
Bring him back. Bring him back.
But I don't like him, man. He's a fucking
He should have been Stain.
I feel like, do you agree? It should have been Stain?
I agree. Yeah, he should have been Stain.
This movie, it should have been Stain. Fucking Hammer,
it makes total sense.
Literally, it makes total fucking sense. All Stain had to do, all they had to fucking do, not kill Stain, fucking have Stain create his own industries. But I don't think Stain ever did in the comics. Maybe I could be wrong, but maybe that's why they did it. Maybe they were still trying to stay relatively to the comics, at least it's
I wonder if they wanted to. I wonder if they wanted to use Justin Hammer later on in the MCU, but some contract thing happening. He never came back.
But he's boring.
He is boring.
Like,
He's a Hammer. He's kind of just like a dumbass. He treats Whiplash like a baby. He has really shitty tech. He's not like he's not threatening in any way.
Exactly. He treats Whiplash like a baby because he doesn't know if Whiplash knows or Ivan knows English. Like he's like, oh, okay. Like he speaks really slow to him. Oh, so you want this? You want bird? You want bird? Like I want the bird. Like, you know, like it's like
I liked Hammer.
You do?
Yeah.
Why do you like Hammer? Okay, I want to know your thoughts. Like, what do you like about Hammer?
I don't hate Hammer. I agree. He's a fun character. I just think it should have been. What do you mean, bro?
Literally 2 minutes ago, you said he was boring. What do you mean?
No. He's boring from a story perspective, but he's fun to watch because he's a dingus.
Yeah, like he's not threatening at all in the movie, but I think he's fun.
Like he's a fun character, but he's a fucking dingus.
Mm-hmm.
He literally looks at fucking Ivan and says, "I might even get laid tonight." The first scene he's in the Senate, like Tony Stark shows him fucking up the tech and saying like, in 20 years maybe Justin Hammer will get there, maybe. Like, yeah, Tony
he was never a threat the entire movie.
Tony literally whips out his magnum dong and sticks it on the Senate fucking desk and then shows everybody Justin Hammer's baby dick.
And that's what's kind of weird. Actually, you know what? It's weird. Justin Hammer and Whiplash seem like split personalities of Stain. Because Whiplash is the one that's fucking killing people and like wants to kill Stark, where Hammer just wants to be a good businessman and wants to like have a bunch of money.
Have a name.
He wants to have a name.
I want to hear, because I think me and Ryan are on the same exact page. I want to hear you, James. I want to hear why you like him. Do you like him more than Stain, or do you like I guess you go, but
okay, well, first of all, in my mind, Stain isn't even in the equation. I just like Justin Hammer, like,
got it. Okay,
with no relation to any other character. Like on his own, I like Justin Hammer. I liked his presence in the movie. I liked the actor. Mm-hmm. I like that he's basically just like, I like that he's an evil fucking Tony Stark, but he's also pathetic as fuck.
Yeah.
I just like he's an entertaining character, and that's all I really need from the character.
I don't agree with any of that. Or I don't disagree with any of that. Yeah, okay.
But like what I will say is like I think his role in this movie is perfectly fine the way it is as a secondary villain. I just think it doesn't work as well here because they cut so much shit from who was meant to be the main villain, which was Whiplash.
Which was Ivan, yeah.
Yeah, Whiplash, I think, is the most tragic part of this movie because the character had so much potential, I think, to be, like, a good fucking story, you know?
Which is what they make it out, literally. Like, they make Ivan seem like the side character up until the third act.
Yeah, it's weird as fuck because it's like, I don't know.
They make it seem like Justin Hammer. They make it seem like Justin Hammer. They make Justin Hammer seem like the main villain until Ivan betrays him. When in reality, Whiplash is just the main villain.
Which it kind of kills me too, because like I get it. Like in this movie, Ivan is kind of like the nerd in the room. You know what I mean? Like that's
the computer guy.
Plays. He plays like the nerd in the room, and in doing that, you lose that like, I don't know why the fuck, but like you kind of lose that like, when you backstab a person, it's kind of hard to do it from miles apart, at least, or it's hard to like show why that is such a big like impactful thing, because like they're fucking you can literally tell why he's doing it the moment he says drones are better, it makes things complicated, people complicate things, like, you know, okay, he's fucking like he wants an army, pretty much. He wants an army that can literally do whatever the fuck he wants. Like it's a pretty clear.
They never show Hammer like really wronging Whiplash or Ivan until like that scene where like he takes away his bird. It's so weird
because
feels so sudden. It feels so randomly. Like, I don't know.
It's fun, and that's the thing. They don't even like, feel free to correct me, but they don't even really show Hammer trying to wrong Tony. All it is just he wants to be tech guy. He wants be
recognition,
like, businessman. Yeah, and so like it's so weird because Hammer isn't like Hammer's an asshole, but he's an asshole because he's like willing to do like, okay, I just want this tech. I want to do this. Hey, let's break this guy out of prison because he's the only one that made this god in the tech industry bleed. And
you know what?
okay.
I think Hammer is better thought of as just not a villain.
I agree.
I think he's a funny.
Like...
I wish he was back in the MCU. I want some way for him to come back. If he came back, I think this movie would reflect better on it because he's too much of he can't be a villain. Like he has a reason. He has a reason to be a villain. He has a reason to like be a villain. I don't see why he has to be like shown that way.
I think it's so funny because I don't think we're even considering the other guy in this equation. Like, okay, there was Stain, and then there was Hammer, and then there's guy with aim. What's his
Aldrich
name?
Killian.
Aldrich Killian. Like, it's so fucking weird watching these movies because they're three like tech guys. Like, but Stain is more of like a right-hand man than he is a tech guy, but still, you know what I'm saying? Same idea, same concept.
I forgot about the Iron Man 3 villain.
Yeah, like
I'm not a fan of him.
It's I'm not trying to say it's all the same thing over and over and over, but like it kind of if it was Stain in this movie, even if it was Stain and fucking like, even if it was Stain and this guy, fucking
which one, Hammer or Ivan?
Hammer. Both. Fuck it.
I think it would actually be funny. It'd be like a nice like Pinky in the Brain type thing where it's like where it's like the mean Stain, and then it's like just an little dinky guy just following around, like, trying to be like a suck up to Obadiah.
If Stain if Stain went to Hammer Industries and was like, okay, hey, this is what I know. We had this giant arc reactor and nobody else could figure out how to make it smaller. And then all of a sudden, Stain fucking gets a blueprint. Oh shit, who's this Anton guy? There you go. Then you introduce Anton.
Iron Man 2
then
Reborn.
You fucking Iron Man 2 literally could have been. You could have had a reason for Ivan to like be a bigger connection. They could have went I'm picturing movie starts. Stain is in jail. Stain gets out of jail or however the fuck, maybe he's not guilty. I don't know how the fuck he wouldn't be guilty, but let's just say whatever. Stain gets out. He goes over to Hammer. Hammer talks to him. They create this thing. I know a little bit about the arc reactor. I remember a name. What's his name? Anton Vanko. Hammer goes to Russia. Meets Anton or maybe fucking what's his name is in jail the entire movie. Stain. Maybe Stain is in jail the entire movie. And
you're like slowly winning me over with this Stain argument because last time I didn't really give a shit about Stain, but now I see his potential. Now I wish he was alive.
Stain is running shit from the shadows, and he's
that'd be kind of cool.
Oh man, and then you wonder Iron Man 3's coming out. Oh my god, whoa, is Stain gonna get out of jail? He doesn't even have to get out in the second movie. He just has to play the fucking cards. And because the thing with it is like Anton, the only fucking reason or not Anton, Ivan, the only reason Hammer knows who the fuck Ivan is because he fucking he does the whiplash shit at the race. But if Stain was there, if fucking Hammer goes to Stain and he's like, I know that was you in the suit. I know it was you in the suit. I fucking know it was. I know it was. Tell me what you know. no, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm trying to change or something, whatever the fuck. And then he lures him back in and he plays the cards. Like it's Stain could be that like 4D chess.
He could have been like Wilson Fisk and Spider-Man PS4.
Yes,
in the
literally, he could have
I'm mentioning
Wilson
Spider-Man
Fisk.
PS4 again.
He could have been Wilson Fisk. Exactly. Like he literally could have been. Stain is a character
why does Malibu have a Wilson Fisk?
Fucker, the highlights channel is gonna have another Obadiah Stane video.
Why is there a Wilson Fisk in Beverly Hills?
I genuinely think Iron Man 2 would have been better if they would have not killed Stain.
I agree.
Have him run shit from the shadows.
I like Justin Hammer.
Then you're watching Hammer getting played, and then it plays into him being a fucking dingus.
I like Justin Hammer. I agree with James. I like Justin Hammer. I think he was wasted.
I do
film.
too.
I think he should not have been
Justin Hammer, a wasted villain.
I don't think he should have been a villain. I think he should have been. I mean, I don't think he even is a villain. I think he should have been shown more as a side character rather than because Justin Hammer, they make him seem like he's trying to take down Stark, but I don't think he is. I don't think he wants to. I think he just wants recognition. I think he just wants to be a cool tech guy.
You know what they could have even did? And
what?
Like maybe I'm just like really trying to give Marvel all the goddamn credit that they could have had. All they would have had to show is a single shot of Stain in prison in the post-credit scene.
Also, like, they don't confirm his death in the first movie, do they?
They don't confirm.
They could have used him again.
They could have used him again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a thing that, like, when I saw the first movie, I was like, man, he's a wasted character. And then the second one, I was like, I know Hammer. I like Hammer. I wish Stain could have been a part of it. And then the third movie, I'm like, okay, whatever. That's an individualized story. Stain could not have had any part in it, but he could have. The thing could have been resolved in this movie, or maybe it could have been a different movie for 3. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is just that I think Stain, once again, is a character that could have been utilized, wasn't, and I think this movie is like weirdly evidence that, like, especially whenever like you do have such good actors for these other characters, that like they could have easily been pawns in a bigger game of chess because they were so clearly working towards the Avengers. And maybe that's why they didn't. Maybe they thought only to the Avengers. Maybe they were like, oh shit. Okay. Well,
lead to Loki and then we're done after that.
Yeah.
What did Marvel thought? Like, did Marvel think that like the MC would end at Avengers? They didn't think that, right?
I have no idea.
I don't think they thought it would end.
But I think maybe they were like, okay, maybe.
Play it safe.
I think they just didn't think they were going to get to the Avengers. Like,
true.
They probably just didn't think they would, like, make it a fucking reality. But, I mean, they did, and it ended up being a success.
I feel like if the idea is that Hammer shouldn't be viewed as the villain, then I definitely don't think Ivan was as good a villain as he could have been. And if you, like, clearly with what you said that they told him, if they wanted to do something really interesting, giving, I guess, the opportunity to have a past villain shine, because this was also the third movie. If you don't count the Incredible Hulk, it's the second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think Iron Man 2 could have been fixed without Stain, like, even needing to be there.
I agree.
I think Iron Man 2 has,
he just would have been a good glue.
I mean, it would have been cool to have Stain stick around as, like, a Loki type of villain, but, like, fucking... Because, I mean, I more than anyone think the MCU should have more recurring villains. Like,
yes.
I agree.
I think, for the love of God, stop fucking killing villains. Like, is a goddamn like pain in the ass unless it like makes sense, you know, like. But I think Iron Man 2 had a lot of fucking potential to tell a good story. And I think it mostly, like, or at least it succeeded about, like, 60%, I think. Like, I think it's an entertaining movie, but it's just hard for me to overlook a lot of the things that I think would have just made it better.
Yeah.
What do you think would make it better, besides the villain?
I
think Vanko... as in Anton Vanko, the dad.
Grandfather, or the dad, yeah.
I don't think he should have been this fucking, like, you know, like, oh, Anton Vanko is the other side of that coin. He wanted to use it for weapons. I think that's, I think that completely fucking, like, almost foiled the movie, honestly. Like, I think it would have been much more interesting if Howard Stark actually did fully take credit for the fucking invention and, like, basically had this guy, like, deported. Like, I think it would have been more interesting if Howard Stark was more of a fucking dick and it was a lot more morally gray than just, like, Anton bad, Howard good.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the villain should not just be like, I think villain shouldn't just be like, I am bad for the sake of being bad, as in, like, we're saying to start killing people at the end of Iron Man 1. Like, they have to have a balance there.
Iron Man 2 is, like, literally, they say it twice in the movie, but it's a movie about legacy. I don't think they lean into the theme as much as they should have, but, like, it is a movie about legacy. We see stuff with Howard, we see stuff with Anton, like, there's clearly fucking parallels there. And, like, I think it would have been so, like, because think of it like this. Howard's legacy is Tony. Right?
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, I just Googled it. Anton appears in Agent Carter.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not funny. Canon, so shut the fuck up.
No, but it's one of those, like, there's a quote from Agent Carter. Obviously, let's not, like, take it into consideration, but Howard Stark and Anton Vanko. Anton, what have you done? And then he says, what any man would do in my position. Don't act so shocked, Howard. You should know better than anyone. It's all about money. Which, like, that seems like
twirls his mustache. Yeah,
but it seems
exactly,
man. But it seems like a single scene that would have did justice here.
I don't know,
but I don't think so. I think that makes the story so, like, black and white. Like. Yeah. I think this would have been much more interesting if, like I said, Anton Vanko was, like, actually a good fucking guy.
Yeah.
And just got fucked over by some rich billionaire.
Because that makes it seem like he wasn't wrong then. Because if he's trying to get a quick buck, then like it makes sense, or like morally it makes sense to like cut him out of the picture then.
And then the whole movie is just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All it would have taken is one conversation between Tony and Ivan. Like, one long fucking conversation, and they would have figured their differences all out. No one needed to die.
Also,
but, like,
sorry, continue.
But, like, no, like, literally fucking, they basically sucked out any fucking hope of, like, having a slightly complex story in favor of, like, yes, there is good, yes, there is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And there is clearly good and fucking bad, and we know exactly who is on each side. Like,
yeah.
And I just think it's a waste, personally.
You mentioned how this movie is about legacy. I think
the movie is very much about legacy.
I wish they used more about Howard Stark in it, because the one scene where he's looking through his archives and that speech that Howard gives to Tony, I think is like one of the best scenes in the MCU. The line where it's
exactly.
like, my greatest creation is and always has been and always will be you. Something like that. I love that quote so much, and I wish they used that, like, that bond more, because they use it later in the MCU, like his relationship with his dad. I wish they would have used it more in the movie.
It's a good fucking scene, man. But think about it like this: like, if Howard Stark actually was a dick, like, I think that scene works so much better on so many, like,
it redeems him when he's, like, fucking already dead.
Yeah. It redeems him, but also it redeems Tony. Because the movie is about legacy. Tony is Howard's legacy. And Howard's legacy is also this fucking arc reactor he's made. Tony literally saves his own life using the legacy of his father.
Yeah.
Even though his father was basically the fucking villain for deporting Vanko, he takes that legacy and he changes it into something that isn't like him being a dick, basically. Like,
No.
Like, Tony is not defined by his father's legacy. I think that should have been.
Tony isn't defined by his father's legacy, but Ivan is defined by being a toothpick guy throughout the entire movie.
Exactly. Dude has a toothpick in every fucking scene.
When he's in Italy, with the first scene was in Italy, he slices the card in half. He has a toothpick in his mouth for some fucking reason.
I wasn't trying. I'm sorry. I just saw a good joke there. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's funny. I think we all agree.
I'm watching all these scenes like right now, and every fucking scene with this guy, he's got a goddamn toothpick. I just had to bring it up, and that just seemed like a good place to make a joke. I'm sorry.
I think we all can agree that this movie had all the pieces there. We just wish they were arranged a bit differently. Then it would have been a fantastic movie.
It seems like Jon Favreau did too.
Yeah, I guess so.
It seems like he wanted the pieces in a different order. It seems like
Favreau wanted to tell a story about Tony and Ivan, but
it seems like
I wonder why Jon Favreau didn't direct the third movie.
Probably because of Iron Man 2. Think about it that way.
Maybe.
Like, hey man, you were handed free reign on the first movie. Fuck it. Okay, cool, wonderful, thank you. Hey man, the second movie that we announced 3 days after the first one, the release of the first movie, because you did such a good job. We're removing all of the things that made that movie possible from this movie.
And you have to do it in 2 years instead of 3.
2 years. And on top of that, we're gonna pay Terrence Howard less money. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Fuck you. So he probably looked at
deal with it.
Yeah, he probably looked at it from the lens of okay, fuck. All right, so it was a success. God damn it. I wonder if he would have felt better if this movie wasn't a success in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like if it made just slightly less, because think about it from that perspective, right? It makes slightly less money. Disney doesn't see the reason to buy it. Disney doesn't buy it. They don't buy the franchise. He can make whatever he wants under the guise of Paramount. Paramount's stupid. They make 3 movies. Nothing is MCU.
Yeah.
Scary thought.
That's
the TVA steps thought. In.
Yeah, the sacred. No, it's a scary thought, but it's also just probably, as shitty as it sounds to say this, probably the best out of a worst case scenario.
I agree.
It's probably it's just,
I think Jon Favreau's a great director. I think he did. I think he did fine.
I think the ideal scenario would have been Marvel just fucking trusting the guy who that ass made the fucking he made the first movie a success all on his own, and then they tried to fucking get that fucking mitts in. Nope, do this.
Okay,
do that.
But you have to view it from this though, right? They don't know anything past this. What they said. Okay, when did Hulk come out?
Before
Hulk came out the same year as Iron Man.
Same year.
Okay.
Can we mention real fast?
Sure.
Someone in the comments on the first episode mentioned that the script to Incredible Hulk is meant to be a sequel. It was recycled sequel from the one for 2003, which I think we mentioned. I mentioned in the second episode. I mentioned that this feels like a sequel to a movie that doesn't exist, and apparently I was right.
Apparently it
does exist. Yeah. It existed 5 years prior, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
It just seems like Disney tightened the reins really quickly because they were like, okay, we have this crazy idea. We just bought it for $4 billion fucking dollars. Maybe, just maybe, let's be a little more careful with this. That way this franchise, because if they didn't, they were just buying characters. And if they were just buying characters, the Marvel movies wouldn't be as successful as they were.
It would be too complicated.
It would just be singular movies that
they would have to tiptoe around making universe instead of just having the full rights to it.
Yeah. The moment the Avengers movie happened, the gimmick was, all of these are connected.
Yeah.
That's the gimmick. Like,
yeah.
Like I remember the moment the Guardians like trailer dropped, people were like, is this connected? Because this like, is that part of this? You know what I mean?
And that's why I like Guardians so much.
It is.
Weirdly.
Yeah. Like, but like you see this movie. It's not a bad movie. There's just a lot of changes I wish would have been different. I like this movie a lot. I think this movie like, and that's the thing. I never ever like did not like this movie. I gave this movie shit in the first episode because I think that this movie is forgettable. And I stand by that. I think that this movie is forgettable.
I will call you out though, when we mentioned the third episode, you thought we were gonna do Thor. And when I said no, we're doing Iron Man 2, you got very upset.
I did. Well, no. I got upset because again, like James, you've watched it like 3 times this year. I think I have watched this movie 3-4 times this year. Like I agree with.
I've watched it like twice in the last year. I've not seen it 3 times.
I've seen it 3 times this year. I at least 3 times this year. I've seen like this movie because I was trying to just watch them all in the last year, and then I also just load up Marvel movies in the background when I'm working. You know what I mean? And shit like that sometimes. And like sometimes I stream with Marvel movies in the background. like I'm
you
just
fucking maniac.
There. No, it's just that's not a.
Michael is like the king of
shit.
multitasking. It's crazy.
I watch shit when I'm doing. I watch shit when I'm working or doing things.
Didn't you used to like stream with The Office in the background before? Was that you or someone else?
I used to. Yeah. I used to stream with like The Office in the backgrounds and shit like that. Fuck? Just because, like, not with audio, but like I just like would keep it up and like I'd like look over and like, haha, that's funny. Like,
I do that now with Community instead of The Office. So,
yeah,
it makes sense.
It just keeps like your brain going on different things sometimes. Like for me anyway. Like, but so this like I've seen this movie like I've sat through this movie for real 3-4 times. Like since this year started, or since the last year, 12 months. And then I have probably seen it more just in the background as well. This movie is forgettable. There are scenes that I remember. Hey, I've commandeered your screen, Robot Rock, fucking the car
donut
scene, the donut, the fucking.
I agree.
But like that's the thing though. I remember the donut. I don't fucking. I swear to fucking God. I remember him sitting in the donut. I don't remember the Black Widow reveal.
I agree that it's forgettable, but I don't think it was unnecessary to the MCU.
It's not unnecessary.
I would have hated if it was not. I prefer that it exists rather than not existing. I like that it exists.
I agree. I just think it's forgettable. And then like, but it's so funny because like you watch Iron Man 3 and I'll be real. I think fucking what's his face is forgettable too.
Yeah, we don't know his name.
The literally fucking Killian. Killian's a fucking.
We'll get more into that one because I have more gripes with that one in this movie. But like, I agree with you.
It. I'll just predict my fucking thing here. I think Killian is fucking forgettable as well. I think he's a fucking problem in that movie. And I love Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is one of my favorite movies, and it's not for the villain. It's for Tony.
That I can agree. I think that movie is more about Tony than Iron Man.
And I genuinely believe if Killian wasn't involved in that movie and it was just a fucking like they could have did the 10 Rings concept better. Killian did not have to be part of it.
You're right.
Like
I forgot about the 10 Rings part. I'm sorry. I forgot about that part too.
Killian literally serves to be the very obvious villain, and then he serves to be like the guy Tony forgets about, and then he serves to be like, then it goes into like 10 Rings, and then he's misdirection. And like, or then the 10 Rings is misdirection.
I think Iron Man 2 is a forgettable movie, but I think it has some very memorable scenes.
Yeah.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
And that's about the best way for me to fucking describe it, bro. Iron Man 2 as a whole, right now, just after watching the movie, I can't even tell you what the fuck it's about. But like
Legacy.
But I can
it
was about legacy. But I can very clearly picture a lot of fucking scenes in my head. I can picture the donuts. I can picture them.
The scene just popped up. He took the bite of the donut the moment you said the donut.
I can picture the donuts.
The donut.
I can picture like every fucking scene. But like a lot of them, I just don't remember the context. I still don't know why Tony and Rhodey fucking fought each other.
Tony got drunk and was being an asshole.
It was because, see, okay. I hate this movie. I do hate it. I hate the movie. I hate it.
All right, bye everyone. See you next week.
No, listen, bro. It makes no fucking sense because like Rhodey deadass walks in, sees that Tony is drunk, and then immediately resorts to the most fucking drastic measures possible.
No. Okay. I disagree with you on that. The reason why is he stuck his neck out. He's like, okay, you know what, Tony's not like this tech isn't that bad. Like he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing because he wrote this whole thing for him.
But
right?
what was he sticking his neck out for? I don't know what the fuck. Like literally, the scene just shows up. Rhodey's on the phone with someone. I don't know who the fuck it is. Apparently he sticks his neck out for Tony, and it's like, I don't know what the fuck, like... I've watched this movie 4 times. I don't know what it is. I literally don't know what the fuck is going on.
The idea behind it is that he wrote that fucking giant presentation about why the tech, like, should be with Stark, and if a single sentence is misconstrued, and yada, 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 and he continuously speaks about it. Like, it's implied that he's, like talking to the guys in DC, and he's doing all of the shit that he needs to do because he's a colonel, right? He's like nah, you know, or a lieutenant or colonel, doesn't matter.
Colonel.
Yeah, he's sticking his neck out for him. Tony is drunk as fuck, and then she's like, oh, Pepper's like, oh man, the party is crazy, and then the moment that Tony fires the fucking weapon with civilians in the room, that's when he does that. That's when he does that. Because you have to think of it from the perspective that, like, it looks like if you're thinking of it from the perspective of like Rhodey, Tony looks like an egomaniac right now.
The whole thing, like, honestly, it just felt really rushed to me, to be honest. Like, I
100% agree with that.
The scene, here's the thing, the scene of them fighting is cool as fuck, and I love it, but like, oh my god, it had like 1.5 scene of build-up, and like, that was it. Like, yes. I honestly think this movie has like, this is like 3 movies in one. You could tell 3 different fucking stories with like everything you have here. You could have a whole movie about Tony and Rhodey fucking fighting. Like, that could be the main fucking conflict. Deadass, that could be literally the whole conflict of its own fucking movie. There's enough there to fucking do a whole movie. Like,
I think that's kind of almost the issue with Tony as a character, though. Like, Tony doesn't make one shift very easily. Tony, like, is a character that unfortunately feeds on ego, and like even in like even when Tony is like just getting off of the ship in Endgame, right? When he touches back down on Earth, he still has a fucking ego. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Tony thrives off of ego. And that is his like his biggest downfall. And every single thing that Tony has ever like been a part of, ego has always been at the forefront of what
he even admits it at the end of the movie.
He does. And it kills me because like it makes him a great character, but it also just it makes him really hard to like. It makes him hard to like, it makes him hard to empathize with. And like you do empathize with him. Obviously, he's the fucking main character. But like we've said it a billion times privately, and we've also said it like I think in the last like episode as well. Tony is like his own villain a lot of the times, or not the last episode, SN2, but one. Tony's his own villain, and in this movie, Tony is his own villain. Like more often than
he is
not.
in the third one as well.
He's dying and he's reckless. Like he's dying and reckless so fucking hard in this movie. In the third movie, in the first movie, he's like he's got all this like, whoa, oh my god, I got an adrenaline rush. Let's keep going. Fuck yeah. In the second one, he's got ego, privatized world peace, you know, yada yada. Fucking as it keeps going, he just it's a problem because you want to root for the character, and I think that's what makes his character great, because you can root for him to get better, not to stay in his lane. And like when you try to put all that together, it complicates a script because you have to like, okay, he's got to make the change in 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like that's so hard to time out.
I mean, he's
like,
fighting like
so
okay, in this movie, as I mentioned earlier, he's fighting Rhodey, Pepper,
yep.
Shield, and like Nick Fury and Black Widow. He's fighting Whiplash, Hammer, and himself all at once.
Yep.
And also the Senate in some way.
And the Senate, yeah.
Everyone hates Tony in this movie. It's what it feels like.
Yes.
Even Pepper, it's like even the very last scene, she's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
And you know what? And you know what? Here's hot take. If Stain would have been there, he would have been a string to hold all of those fights together.
Why do you always say hot take and then say a really cold take?
I think hot take in the idea of like, I think people wouldn't want Stain there. I don't think people would have. I don't think people would want Stain there.
I think most women.
Jon Favreau would have.
Was he supposed to be in this movie?
The original plan for the Iron Man trilogy was that Stain was meant to be in all three of them, and he wasn't meant to become Ironmonger until the third one. The first Iron Man movie was meant to have the Mandarin as the villain.
Ooh.
But like the real Mandarin, or like
I assume the real Mandarin because the
Ten Rings are in that.
But the reason why it never came to be that way was because Jon Favreau apparently met with one of the comic book writers for Iron Man, and the way they said it was that basically the writer explained that he shouldn't do it that way because starting with the Mandarin was too fantastical.
I agree.
For like Iron Man 1. Like his fucking thoughts on it was that it should work its way up to something like that, which is why we have it the way it is now.
Has it ever been confirmed whether or not the 10 Rings in the first Iron Man movie was actually the real 10 Rings?
I don't think it's the real 10 Rings.
I think
in the
Kevin
first one?
Feige, when he announced Shang-Chi, he was like, we've been hinting at the 10 Rings even since the first Iron Man movie, you know? I think it's meant
the logo is literally there.
I think it's meant to be like I don't know.
Now, what I think what it is that it's a terrorist organization using like the symbology of the 10 rings.
Just saying that they're part of like a similar thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Or they stand for the same things.
I really doubt though they were like, all right, in 26 movies, now we're gonna bring the 10. I think at that point they had no intention.
It is literally a retcon. Like
I think in the first movie it's supposed to be the 10 Rings, like the real 10 Rings, and then in the third one they're just like, okay, hey, let's use that thing from the first movie again.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, in Iron Man 1 I think it was meant to be a very loose adaptation. Almost not even an adaptation. It was like more of an Easter egg with the name. Like they were just like, oh, what if we had terrorists and we called them the 10 Rings? Or maybe, comic fans will get that one. Like,
or maybe, I don't know. Maybe the fucking 10 Rings in this universe is just their like Al Qaeda.
I don't think that'll.
I
be
know
the
that's
case
weird.
because,
I don't think it will be, but like if they're retconning shit, maybe that was their idea.
I think the original intent was like, yes, we're going to have like Al Qaeda, and they are just gonna be called the Ten Rings. And
The Ten Rings.
Comic fans will get the reference because they're all a bunch of sweaty nerds.
Yeah, comic fans will get the reference. Nobody else will.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then years down the line, a decade later, Kevin Feige was like, "Yo, looks like we're running out of content."
This?
They're not running out of content. They have content to last decades.
Yeah, $4 billion.
Fucking waste some money.
Fucking, yeah. No,
Dead franchise.
It's. I think Stain would have been a better string to hold everything together, which is fine. We're just repeating ourselves, but I think that's, or I'm at least repeating myself. I think Stain would have been the best string to hold it together. I think you're right. They could have made these separate movies, but on the same side,
I don't think they should have. I'm just saying they could.
No, I don't think they should have. Yeah,
like, they tried to do too much at once, and they probably shouldn't had like all these storylines happening. Like, maybe this is a hot take.
It feels like a Spider-Man.
Maybe this is a hot take.
Yeah.
This might be like a segment too. Did we need Black Widow in this movie?
I don't think we needed Black Widow in this movie.
I don't think we needed her in this movie, but it's a.
I think she's cool in it. I like her scenes in it, but like it feels like she's just there to say, "Hey, remember this Avengers thing we mentioned before? Yeah, we're still doing that, just so you don't forget it. We're still doing the Avengers thing."
Okay, well then, weird question: did Pepper need to become the CEO?
I don't even know why like they went with that either. I'm starting to like I don't understand what their conflict was either. Like Pepper and Tony. Like I feel like it's always the same thing where it's like.
It is always the exact same thing.
She doesn't like him being Iron Man, and he keeps being Iron Man because they're one and the same.
Yes.
I think she was pissed at him this time because he was being reckless. But like,
well, he was reckless. He was drunk on power and literally drunk.
Well, he was reckless because he knew he was fucking dying. So he was like.
But even then, he already gave her CEO, right?
Yeah.
He gave her CEO in like the first scene of the movie. It feels like the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was the first, like, first 20 minutes. We paused. It was first 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah, I was going to say
20 minutes she becomes CEO.
They weren't even they weren't even in Italy yet.
But I think it's so weird because I think like okay, that scene makes more sense now. He gives her CEO right after he does the blood test. So it's supposed to be like I am dying. This is like an insurance policy thing. That way, once I die,
yeah. Well,
that's not explained well enough. I don't think.
It's not. It's not.
Now think about it like this: he's given away all of his shit as well. Like
he gave away he gave billions like the Boy Scouts.
His art collection.
Collection, the Boy Scouts Foundation.
This is gonna sound like kind of fucking morbid, but like Tony kind of shows like signs of being like someone who is suicidal in this movie.
I was gonna say that he seems suicidal in this movie, or he seems like fuck it, I'm gonna die, just ride it out, just like
exactly.
I don't think it's I don't think it's suicidal. It's the bucket list thing.
It's reckless.
It's the like. Well, it is, but it's the hypothetical.
He is someone who has accepted his death.
Yeah,
he's not fighting it anymore.
It's like Walter White.
I don't get that reference because I haven't seen that show.
Neither have I.
But
fans will know.
You're handed. It's the hey, you have 24 hours to live. Go and like do your bucket list. Go and do the things you want to as fast as you can.
And then Tony's like, I'm gonna fuck Black Widow.
No,
he wanted to fuck Black Widow.
He really wanted to fuck Black Widow.
He said, and I quote, I need to get one of those.
Like it's an object.
Again, misogynistic.
Misogynistic.
right-wing, misogynistic,
my hot
liberal hating.
This is my new Jeff Bezos would kill a kid. Iron Man is misogynistic.
No, I don't think that's a hot take. No.
Fair enough.
I didn't realize you were a woman. Is that what the first?
Holy shit, you're right. Movie? Oh my god.
First words in the movie. I didn't realize you were a woman. No, it's yeah. You can sum up this movie with lots of loose strings. Like not the ends of those strings, but like the A to B is sagging. There's a lot of sag in between the A's and B's and things.
It's a bit of a messy movie.
Yeah, it's really clear that like they could have taken straighter paths to get there, but instead shit just happened. I don't know.
It feels like the main plot of the movie was like a base, but they just stacked a bunch of shit on top of it to where like the base didn't even matter anymore. I'm
also just like, it's so weird, but like I'm watching a scene back and it's where like Ivan is handed a passport with like a picture in it and just tickets to the Monaco Grand Prix, and like that is something that is like, it happens so fast that like you don't even realize it.
I caught that this watch, but I've seen this film like maybe 8 times. I never saw it before.
I've never noticed it either. Like it's
I only
just
saw it
one
now.
Of those... I don't want this to be like a. It sounds so weird because usually like at the end of these episodes we've only done 2. But like there's just not a lot to say about this movie other than like it's fun. It is a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
You could
easily lose 2 hours to this movie. But it is, I'm sorry, 2 hours and 2 hours. Okay, I thought it was a 2 hour 30-minute movie. No, you could lose 2 hours to this movie. But like, man, there are just parts in it. Like, I don't know that Scarlett Johansson should have been in this movie. I don't even know that S.H.I.E.L.D. should have been in this movie, but obviously maybe they needed that to get to Thor. Maybe that was the only reason they did that.
It feels like a bridge to other movies, but it doesn't feel like it stands on its own very well.
Yeah, which is crazy because you would think that if they wanted this movie to stand on its own, they would have did it after Thor.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like if they wanted this movie to stand on its own, it should have just been a movie after Thor. If they wanted this movie to be a bridge, you should have brought back Stain.
I agree.
Like, why introduce all of these new concepts for none of them to stick?
Yeah.
Pepper is a CEO. That does not matter. It is used in literally one movie. The fact that she's the CEO. It's used in Iron Man 3 for 3 seconds because it's a moment with what's his face? The bad guy in that movie. Can't think of his stupid fucking
Aldrich
name.
fucking
Killian. It's used in that. That's literally the only reason.
One scene in Avengers too.
Yeah, but hardly.
Hardly, yeah, and barely. I'm saying only one scene in the Avengers.
Yeah, only one scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one scene in Avengers, fucking a moment in Iron Man 3. Or not, it's not a moment, but it's like a really poorly laid out thing. It's very clear, like, oh yeah, you're the CEO of Stark Industries. That's impressive. Let's woo you over and let me get some power over at Stark Industries. Tell us your trade secrets, type shit. Like that's the fucking. It's literally like I hate to like say this, but it's literally like Killian being like, I wonder if I could confuse dumb woman into giving me things.
I mean, we'll get to that later.
We
will. But I'm saying like, what a fucking weird, such a weird way to do that. Because again, if it was Stain was still around, then again, Iron Man 3 could have happened. Hammer goes to jail. He takes the rap. and then Stain is still working from behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if Hammer can't do it, then I just go to the next tech guy. Let's go to AIM.
If only. Yeah. Okay, let's.
Yeah, I think we have enough.
Yeah, let's rate this movie out of 100, like we always do.
I don't really have much else to say on the movie, man.
I'm gonna rate this an Elon Musk out of 100.
Okay, but if that was a number.
Okay.
Have we been keeping track of our ratings for the other ones?
I have.
We can go back. Yeah.
What were my ratings for the?
You think yours was 45 for Hulk? Me and Michael's were like 20.
We're at 35.
Yeah, and then Iron Man 1 was like 85% average.
Okay.
We should probably check and write these all down so we
check and write.
I can check
down,
the episodes again.
Still.
This one I'll rate this one again. Is it as just movies, not in the MCU?
Just movies.
I'll say as a movie, like just the way it's made. I think it's like a 70.
I think I'd give this one a 65.
I was gonna go 50.
So 65.
You know what? No, I'm gonna make mine 60.
So
it's
63.
It's a 60 average. It's a 60 average. 70. You said 75?
70. I say 70. So yeah, 60 average. Yeah.
So 60 average. So it's a 6. It's like it's not a bad movie.
I would.
It's just. Yeah,
I think James has always been the average score. I think.
Yeah, probably.
Nah, I had the highest score on the Incredible Hulk. Man.
That's right. You did. Yeah, never mind. You did.
I was gonna
say
not
anymore though. That shit's a fucking 3.
It's so weird because it's so weird too because I love to think like I'm the I love to think that I'm the like. Oh man, I love these movies even when they're bad. Like we're gonna get to Captain like Marvel, and I'm gonna be like, I still like that movie. Like I still like this movie.
Michael likes Thor: The Dark World, so once you get to the episode, just skip it.
Yeah, but Michael likes Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, his opinion doesn't matter. The actual average is like about 65 because it's between me and James. That's the one that matters.
Watching that movie with you guys might change my opinion, but I don't know. I like moments from it.
I think the fact that we watched Iron Man 2 together with all of us made it more enjoyable than alone.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
So I think future movies will be better because we're watching as a group and we're watching it more comprehensively than just sitting back and watching them all.
The Hulk just could not be saved though.
The Hulk fucking sucked.
So shit.
Not even funny. It was just bad. And now I feel justified that it was bad.
All right.
It was a funny movie. It was funny.
Thank
you guys.
Thank you for sitting in the best seat. Get the fuck up.
Thanks for watching The Best Seat. I have been Ryan.
Show's over.
I've been Michael.
I've been James.
All right, guys. Bye.
This movie sucked.